And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lambert versus Jones. Step forward, please.
Nurse's assistant Jerry Lambert is suing her former friends, Kevin and Rhonda Jones, for stealing her DVD collection. Kevin and Rhonda are countersuing for unpaid babysitting fees and damages to their car caused by Jerry's 7-year-old daughter.
Miss Lambert, you and your children needed a place to stay. You were having some difficulty, and the defendants, according to your complaint, took you into their home with your children. When you left, which I gather were not under favorable circumstances, Mr. and Mrs. Jones kept some of your DVDs.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what you're suing for the return of these DVDs. Mr. and Mrs. Jones acknowledge that they have the DVDs, but they say in their counterclaim that you owe them for some babysitting fees and some damage that your little girl did to one of their cars. How do you know them?
Well, they've been friends of mine for over the last few years.
How many is a few?
About 7.
And why did you need a place to stay?
Because I moved back from where I used to live in Independence, Kansas from my brothers and stayed over there at their house, and they said I can move in and stay with them until I found another place to live.
Did you call them and tell them that you wanted to move back to town?
They called me at my brother's house.
To say what?
That they wished that I would move back to town, and they missed seeing me and the kids.
Is that right?
Yes.
And you invited her to come to your home?
Yes.
That was very nice of them, right?
Right.
When did you arrive at their home?
The 28th of April.
And when did you leave their home?
The 19th of May.
Why?
Because I had gone to work and they had got mad at me because I switched babysitters from having Rhonda watch my kids to a different babysitter. And so they called my mom and dad and told them that they needed to come get my stuff because they were kicking me out.
And why did you switch babysitters?
Because my kids were getting yelled and screamed at their house. They weren't being able to go outside or nothing like that.
Now, you arrived there on April 28th. When did you start working?
About the following week after that.
So the first week in May.
Mm-hmm.
So you were working about 2.5 weeks.
Uh-huh.
That's the babysitting that you are requesting?
Yes.
Did you have an arrangement with her with regard to babysitting fees?
Yes, I did.
And what was that arrangement?
That she'd watch my kids while I was at work.
And how much were you supposed to pay her?
She never told me.
Did you ask her?
No, I didn't.
Did you think you had to pay her something?
Yeah.
Well, how much were you planning on paying her?
It just depends on how much she was charging me.
How much are you paying the current babysitter for watching your children?
It just depends on how much she asked me for, because she's a friend of the family's.
Well, how much did she ask you for last week?
Last week I gave her $70.
And the week before?
I get paid every 2 weeks, so...
2 weeks before that, how much did you give her?
$70.
So you give her $70 every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
What are your hours of work?
Anywhere from 2 in the afternoon till 10 at night.
So when somebody babysits for your children, they really are feeding them and putting them to bed, doing their homework with them? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what arrangement did you have with Miss Lambert with regard to payment for babysitting?
Oh, I was charging her $1 an hour per kid.
Is that what you arranged with her, is my question, not what you were charging. So be very careful what you say to me, Miss Jones. Very careful.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jerry Lambert says former friends Kevin and Rhonda Jones won't return her DVD collection. Kevin and Rhonda claim Jerry's 7-year-old daughter vandalized their van.
Did you have an agreement with her to be paid $1 an hour per child?
Yes.
When did you make that agreement with her?
When she got a job and started work.
And when was that?
It was around, I started watching, it was in May, around the 4th or 5th.
You watched the children for 2 weeks?
Right.
And how much do you say she owes you for the 2 weeks?
It was $134.
$134?
Right.
Okay. That's most reasonable. Did she give you any other money while she lived there?
She just gave us money for the utility bills.
She did? How much money did she give you?
The $150 for that month.
And what about food? Did she purchase her own food?
She was there for 2 weeks before she bought any food.
Okay. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's get to the damage. When do you allege that Miss Lambert's daughter, I assume this little girl over here, damaged your property?
We were sitting inside her uncle and aunt's house, and my daughter was outside playing with them, and she come to make it to our attention that the child over here was...
Well, you didn't see it,
Right.
Step up. Tell me your name.
Ashley.
Ashley, tell me about what happened.
I was outside playing and I went around the garage and I come back because I was trying to find a basketball. And I come over to Nixie and I looked over and I seen Jesselyn scratching on the side of the van with a rock. And I went in and ran to my mom and dad and found her and told
Did
them.
you tell her to stop?
Yes.
Did she stop?
No. Me and Nixie tried to get her off of the van, but she wouldn't listen. She said it was a chalkboard.
How old are you?
No.
How old are you?
7.
7. When did you tell the plaintiff about it?
She was present at the time that she come in and made it aware to all of us at the same time.
Remember that, Miss Lambert?
Yes, I do.
Did you talk to your little girl about it?
Yes, I did.
What did she say?
That she wasn't going to throw rocks at the vehicle again.
That she wouldn't do it again?
Mm-hmm.
So there really isn't a question that you're responsible for the damage to the truck, right?
Well, my daughter says she didn't throw rocks at their truck.
Can I see a picture of the truck, please? The only reason I ask you these questions is because you understand that if damage to your truck took place at a time when you were babysitting, that would have been your responsibility, even though it was her child, because you were supposed to be supervising her little girl. But if this didn't happen on your watch, but it happened on her mother's watch, it's her mother's problem. Mother has to pay for it. Oh, some nasty scratches. You have an estimate how much it's going to cost to polish
right
those
here
or
we
buff
have
them
an
out?
estimate.
Have you had the car fixed?
No.
Okay. You're not friends anymore, I assume.
No,
Why not?
I just don't want to be friends with people like them anymore.
They sounded like very nice people to me.
Well, you don't know them as quite as well as I do.
Well, they were really nice people. They invited you to come home and live with them. They said you could stay with them until you got on your feet. They opened their home to you. They provided you and your 3 children with food. Sounds to me like they're very nice people. In any event, you owe her $134 for babysitting, and I'm awarding them an additional $800 to have the car painted for a total of $934. Judgment for the defendant on the counterclaim. The plaintiff gets her DVDs back. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, you may step out.
When my kids were staying with them, they did.
To hide belongings from his wife. Storage fees and pain and suffering.
Yes, case number 202 on the calendar in the matter of Jorg versus Roberts Dukin. Eyes have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Ms. Jorg, the defendants were friends of yours, according to your complaint, and there came a time when you were being evicted from your apartment. You stored some things at their home, according to you. The storage lasted a little bit longer than anticipated. When you called and said you wanted your stuff back, they say it's gone. When did you start to store your property at the defendant's house?
In March, my apartment building had gotten sold, and a new owner came out, took over.
Just, let's keep it simple. March of 2003, you were being evicted.
Yes.
When did you have to get out of your apartment?
I went to court and stuff, and I had to get out till June 16th.
And where were Miss Roberts and Mr. Duncan supposed to store your things?
She was over helping me, and she said that she could help me store my stuff for nothing. I was in a hard time, and she had the money to help me, that she could help me.
I want you to answer my questions. Where was she supposed to store your property?
In a storage shed behind her house.
Is that right?
It's my shed on my property.
And did you move the property to your house and the storage shed, or just the storage shed?
To the storage facility, because the people
What do you mean the storage facility? That's where we're coming into a problem.
Into a storage unit.
When did you move the property from your house into a commercial storage facility?
The same day.
Why?
Because I couldn't fit it in my shed.
Did you tell her that?
Yes, I did.
No, she didn't.
Yes, it
No.
was discussed.
No, you did not.
So you moved her things from your house, where you said that you would store it, and your shed, into a commercial facility the same day you got the stuff?
Yes.
You have the bills from the storage
Yes, I do.
facility? I'd like to see them. Well, this says that on the 16th of June, she started a storage facility, and that September of 2003, some 3 months later, was the last month that the property was there. Is that right?
Yes.
When did you find out that
Your Honor, I went by her house on June 21st on a Saturday, and I went to go see if I could use the telephone. And I pulled up in her driveway, and her daughter was in the window. I went and knocked on the door, nobody came. And up in her driveway behind the fence sat all of my stuff out in the rain.
You saw that?
Yes, I did.
So what did you do when you saw that?
I went to the door and I knocked. Nobody answered. She called and left a message on my phone. My message told me not to come to her house without calling before I came up.
If you saw your property that was out in the rain,
I couldn't get back behind there. It was locked and she wasn't home.
Just a second. You get the police and say, she has my property. It's being ruined. I want to take it, and I'll put it in a storage facility.
Right. Well, I didn't have the money at that time to do it, and she offered to do it for nothing. And Michelle here knows that she was in the house that day that I knocked on the door.
She may have been in the house when you knocked on the door, but what I'm saying to you is, if you say you saw your property on that day, why didn't you get your property off her property?
I had no way of even hauling it, in my car. I had no way of doing it. And I tried calling her on August 2nd.
Well, what did you think she was going to do with it after the 25th?
She was supposed to put it in her storage unit. Every time she took stuff over there, I said, do you have enough room? Yes, we're rearranging. It'll all fit in there.
Soon after she took your stuff, you knew that it wasn't in a storage shed behind her house and it wasn't in her house. What did you do between June and September to get your stuff?
She said everything was safe, put away, and it wasn't sitting out there.
But you knew that that wasn't true.
No, I went back by and it was not there anymore. And I called on August 2nd.
I'm not talking about August. I'm talking about June.
I know,
July.
but August 2nd, I called to get my stuff back because I was ready to get my stuff and move it. And she wouldn't let me have it.
Okay. Step up here, please.
Michelle?
Tell me your name.
Michelle Delker.
You know anything about this?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to hear what you know about it.
I was over at Paul and Larissa's on a weekend, and she was talking to Helen, and I overheard a conversation that she was willing to help Helen with packing and moving, and she knew Helen didn't have the money to get a storage shed, and so they were going to help her out and get it for her.
For how long?
Until she got on her feet.
What if it took 5 years? How long? How old are you?
I was on for 2 weeks.
Shh. How old are you?
I'm 49.
When was the last time you were on your feet?
Just prior to, well, I lost my apartment in June, and then I got another place to live in August.
Prior to losing your apartment in June, madam, what you're telling me is that you didn't have $30 a month to give to a storage unit. It suggests to me that you hadn't been on your feet in a long time. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
Okay. So
but she knew what my income was, what I was getting, and she said that she had the money, and she told me she would do it for nothing. She wanted to help me out because she knew I had...
Would do what for nothing?
Store my stuff. And
in a storage facility. Store your stuff in a storage facility.
At her house. No, at her house.
No. Listen to me. We're not going to play with each other. According to you, she said she knew you didn't have any money, and she was prepared to pay for the storage of your stuff because she was prepared to help you out that way.
Right.
Well, paying for it means in a commercial facility.
She had offered that, and I told her not to do it because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And then she came over one day and said she had already rented it because they were going to use it, and that if she had to, she'd put some in there.
So that was after you saw your property out in her backyard, according to you, on June 25th. You can sit down now.
No, she offered the storage unit and said she had went and got it before I had seen it on her property.
So you knew then, Miss Jorg, that she was going to rent a storage unit to put your things in.
I didn't authorize her to put it in a storage unit.
What happened to her things?
They were in the storage unit. Come August, her boyfriend started calling and threatening me on my answer machine. He said that he didn't want to do anything to put him back into prison. I had to change my phone number.
Well, let me ask you this question. When she called for her stuff, what did you say to her?
I wanted reimbursed for the storage unit.
And how much was it that you wanted to be reimbursed?
$300.
How much did you pay for the storage unit?
It was about $300, all total, because there was late fees, because I couldn't pay it on the 1st of every month.
And how much of your stuff was in there?
Nothing.
And you're telling me that all these figures add up to $300, is that right?
I do believe so.
All right. When did you ask her for your property back in August?
I called her August 2nd, and I called her about 11:30, and
Is that true?
It was her and her boyfriend that was calling.
Was it around August 2nd?
Yes.
Okay, good.
But I called her...
So then I'm eliminating certain amounts of money, everything that was billed after August 1st, because you weren't entitled to $272 on August 1st. there was money added. So let's figure out what she owed you as of August 1st, if she owed you for this.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You sold Wayne the Hitachi, and he just paid the storage fees.
Yep.
You're a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
And later today,
They had got mad at me because I switched babysitters, and so they called my mom and dad and told them that they needed to come get my stuff because they were kicking me out.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Helen George says former friends Larissa Roberts and Paul Dukin won't return her belongings. Larissa and Paul claim Helen wasn't paying her storage bill.
Okay. Now, at that point, she owed you maybe $138, and that is if I believed that there was nothing of yours in the storage shed. Something that I find it hard to believe, that you rented the storage shed for her and you didn't have any of your own stuff in there. But at that point, you know you $300, and you had already paid $138. You could have said, listen, go get your stuff, but I'm going to take you to small claims court and sue you for the $138. Instead, what you allowed to happen was you allowed all of her property to be gone.
I sold it to a friend of hers.
Your Honor.
And I
Well,
was
just a
told-
second. That's outrageous.
He paid for the storage unit.
Your Honor.
That's outrageous. Why didn't you just give it back to her?
Couldn't get in the storage unit unless I paid it.
In August?
Mm-hmm.
You had been paying in August, according to this bill that you gave me.
As of August 5th, it was late, and they wouldn't let us in.
She called you August 2nd.
She never showed up for the time that she agreed to meet us to get the stuff.
When did she agree to meet you? When?
I can't remember exactly what date it was.
Okay. What was the name of the friend who paid the storage unit?
His name
Wayne.
was Wayne.
You know that person?
Yes, I do.
Have you spoken to Wayne?
Yes, I have, but he's in back in prison right now, and he did not buy the stuff.
All right. What stuff was in here?
20 years of my life, my personal stuff, I mean, everything. Michelle helped to get some of my pictures back and a few of my stuff back.
From Wayne?
Yes.
From Larissa.
She was seeing Wayne.
And Michelle's been over at Larissa's house. And
For the last 2 years, no.
Shh. Shh. Don't speak.
And Michelle told me that she's got stuff of some of my stuff in her house right now.
Like what?
She's got TVs, kitchen stuff.
No, I do not.
Pictures.
Were these things that were taken out of your apartment?
Yes.
What
She
kind of
has pictures.
televisions did you have?
I had a 46-inch Hitachi.
That was supposed to be in storage?
Yes.
It was. It was.
It was? And are you telling me that you sold Wayne the 47-inch Hitachi and he just paid the storage fees?
Yep.
No.
Don't believe you, my dear.
No.
You're a liar.
Everything
You're a
was in
liar.
there.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. What do you do for a living?
Daycare.
Somebody entrusts you with their children?
Yes.
What a mistake. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Not your stuff. The return of your stuff. The return of your stuff, Helen.
I thought she was a friend.
I didn't know her anything.
I find out later she intended to take my stuff all along.
I was just being a friend.
Friends don't do that to friends.
That's this case number 211 on the calendar in the matter of Snow versus Dean. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Snow, you, according to your papers, were having an affair with Mr. Dean prior to and during the separation that he had with his wife.
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, Mr. Dean, in order to ensure that his wife wouldn't get her hands on some of his property, had you take out a storage unit in your name.
Yes, ma'am.
Where he put his property. And you want him to pay all the storage fees that you paid on that unit.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Dean says the storage unit was supposed to be in both your names, that he told you within a couple of months that he was reconciling with his wife, that he wanted his stuff back, that you refused to let him take his stuff back, and you allowed the fees to build up on this storage unit. He acknowledges he owes you about $100, and he is counterclaiming for all of his stuff. When did you separate from your wife, Mr. Dean? Give me the month and the
February.
year. Shh. Let me finish the question. Month and year.
February 2004.
Beginning, middle, or end of February?
Beginning.
And when did you move your stuff out of the house?
Before the 15th of February.
And is that when you asked Miss Snow to make arrangements for a storage unit?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when did you reconcile with your wife?
In March.
Beginning, middle, or end?
In the middle.
We're still working on that, Your Honor. We have not
gotten back together.
When in March did you tell Miss Snow that you wanted your property?
Actually, she found out that I was talking to my wife, and that's when she went ballistic.
Do you remember when that was?
It was around the middle, towards the end.
And how much was the storage unit?
It was $141 a month, and it went to $145.
Well, if you went ballistic and you stopped seeing him in March, why did you keep paying on the storage unit?
I paid, the first payment was done the 7th of February. The second payment was done around the 11th of March. That's when I stopped payment, when I found out he was with his wife.
Fine. So that's 2 payments of $141.
Right, I have the receipt.
That's $282. Why are you suing him for $1,000?
Plus, there is another outstanding of $577 that's owed on the storage unit now.
Why didn't, well, I understand that. Why didn't you allow him to get his stuff in March?
Because I went to him to get his stuff. I went to his father to pay me the money that he owed me, plus I went to his sister, and they all promised to give me the money.
When?
Around the end of March, before the next payment was due.
When did Mr. Dean call you and ask you for his property?
He never did call me.
Go ahead.
I had talked to him prior. My father had offered to pay her the money. My sister had offered to pay her the money. My wife had offered to pay her the money.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
I offered. She didn't want it because she was being vengeful.
She was angry because
yes,
she went ballistic, so she found out you were talking to your wife.
That was the whole case, yes.
Does that sound right, Miss Snow?
No, ma'am.
Well, he certainly owes you $282. He doesn't owe you any more. Where's his property?
It's in a storage unit.
Your Honor, the storage unit is being auctioned. She has the only keys to the storage unit. I offered to ask her to sign it over to me. I take over the payments.
When?
I would say we met the beginning of March, and I told her that I would take over the payments. She signed everything over to me. She said I was welcome to pay on it, but she was not signing it over to me, give me any keys, that she was keeping everything in her name until she got things worked out with Charles.
I went to both of them and said, when she came to me about the storage unit, she did not offer to pay me the money that was owed to me. She wanted me to give her the belongings without giving me the money that was owed to me. They could have had the keys. I don't want the stuff. It was appraised at $400 from the people in the storage unit.
So why don't you give them the keys?
They haven't given me my money.
Where are the keys?
Right here.
Give it to them.
Okay.
Good. There are the keys.
Ma'am, but the stuff is probably auctioned off by now.
Well, I don't know whether it is or whether it isn't.
Yes, ma'am.
You owe her $282.
Yes, ma'am.
And I find that you owe her $282 and not the $1,000 that she's asking
Yes,
for,
ma'am.
because I believe that after you and your wife started to talk again and you were reconciled, Miss Snow got angry. And she wasn't cooperative about you getting your stuff back. So if you let that stuff remain in storage, knowing full well that eventually they were going to auction it off, that's not right, Miss Snow. If, in fact, your stuff has been auctioned, according to... Listen to me. Listen to me. I don't know whether it has or whether it has not, and neither do you. So I'm going to allow you to withdraw without prejudice your counterclaim. If, in fact, your items were sold, you have a claim against her for maliciously withholding your property. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $282, and I'm allowing you to withdraw your counterclaim if, in fact, your items were sold. You can sue her for the full value of the items that you have receipts for.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I believe that she's upset because I broke the relationship off.
I'm also married myself, and I wanted to make my marriage work.
We're still not together because I still believe that they're still having contact, regardless of what either one of them say.
I have not had any contact whatsoever.
My opinion is it's not going to end. It's going to continue.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Robinson versus Gorman. Step forward, please.
Plaintiff Anna Robinson is suing her former friend, water well driller Paul Gorman, for the return of a 1989 Chevy Blazer. Anna says Paul took possession when she went to prison for operating a meth lab.
Ms. Robinson, according to what I gather from your complaint, Mr. Gorman was a long-time friend of yours.
Yes.
And a trusted friend. And there was a period of time when you became incarcerated. You were incarcerated on more than one occasion. While you were incarcerated, you gave Mr. Gorman power of attorney to handle certain of your affairs, cash your checks, etc. During your second period of incarceration, it is your claim that Mr. Gorman appropriated a truck that belonged to you by misusing the power of attorney. You want the truck back, or the value of the truck. Mr. Gorman says There is a very good reason why you can't have the truck back, and that's because he invested a substantial amount of money in the truck, including money to get it out of impound, where it was when you went to prison. That's your defense.
Yes, ma'am.
When was the first time you were incarcerated, Miss Robinson, when you gave Mr. Gorman the power of attorney?
98.
For what?
I was incarcerated for drugs.
And how long were you incarcerated?
16 months, I believe.
And when was the next time you were incarcerated?
July 12th of 2002.
And how long were you incarcerated?
For 3 years.
And that was for drugs also?
Yes.
When you were incarcerated in July of 2002, you had a truck?
Yes, ma'am.
What year truck did you have?
1989 Chevy Blazer.
And where was the truck when you were incarcerated?
I was driving the truck and it went to impound.
You were driving the truck at the time of your arrest?
Yes.
Were you transporting drugs in the truck at the time of your arrest?
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why were they so nice to you?
We've been best friends for years. We've always helped each other out.
So why would you think that they would do something that's so sinister, according to you, stealing your property?
And later today,
about 8 months in the relationship, Mrs. Frilling told me she had feelings for another female. I called her and I told her if she don't come get her belongings, I'm gonna throw them out.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Anna Robinson says when she went to jail, former friend Paul Gorman took possession of her Chevy Blazer. Anna says Paul refuses to return the vehicle.
Did you ask him to get the truck out of impound?
Yes. I said if he got the truck out of impound, they could drive it for the duration of my sentence.
Is that the conversation that you had with her?
No.
You tell me your version of the conversation that you had with her.
She basically asked if we can get it out and stuff, and we didn't have the money ourselves. And then time, lapsed on, and we finally got a notice. They gave us 1 week to impound, they're going to sell it. And then she said, if you guys can get it out, because I'm going to be gone for probably permanently, you guys can have it. And she mentioned to the neighbor, and she goes, well, I'll lend you the money if you pay me back, and I hold the title. I said, sure. So I have a notarized statement from her saying this is what happened.
Miss Robinson, what would have happened to the truck if Mr. Gorman didn't?
Well, it would have been lost.
So what difference does it make to you if he went and got the truck out?
Because it was my truck. I mean, he got it out for me.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying he called you and said they're going to sell the truck. I just got a notice. And he said what you said to him was, well, if you can get it out, it's yours.
I wrote him and them and asked him about the truck and various other things. How are you doing? What's up with the truck?
Well, do you have any letter from them indicating that they're taking care of the truck for you?
Nothing. They never wrote me back till the day before I got out of prison.
And then did they write you back?
They wrote me back and said, here's your address and here's our cell phone number.
What does that mean? Here's your address, here's your cell phone?
Because I wasn't sure where I was going to parole to. They were supposed to have moved within that 2-year period.
We were
and they never did
parole
end
at
up
our
moving.
address.
Just a second. Why were they so... Shh, Miss Robinson, why were they so nice to you?
We've been best friends for years. We've always helped each other out.
So why would you think that they would do something that's so sinister, according to you, stealing your property?
That's why I was blown away. I couldn't believe they would do this to me.
Well, I don't want you to stop getting blown away, because I have to make a decision as to whether or not I believe him when he says...
He didn't...
Shh, I'm speaking.
Sorry.
Whether I believe him when he says that you said to him, listen, do what you have to do. The truck's gone anyway. I can't get the truck out. If you have to borrow money from somebody, borrow money from somebody. He even says that he was prepared to give you the truck if you wanted it. When you got out, all you had to do was pay him the money that it cost him to get the truck out of impound, plus what he put into the truck. Didn't you say that to her?
Half, I'll sell for half of what I put into it. I'll cut that in half since I've used it.
And what did she say to you?
Basically, at first, she said yes, and then the next thing I know, a couple of days, she moved out, and I haven't spoken to her since.
The day I moved out was the day he told me I couldn't have my truck back. The very next day, I went to the DMV so I could do this legally to get my truck back, and they had already told me that the previous year they took the title out of my name. A year after I was arrested.
I'm not talking about title back in your name. He said to you, give me the money that I...
And I agreed to that right from the day one.
Did you give it to him?
No, I didn't have the money at the time. I was just out of prison. I wasn't a week out of prison.
Well, then you wanted your truck back without giving him any money.
I never demanded the truck that day. I told them they could keep using the truck because I realized they had work to do. They had to use their truck.
I suggest that you get a job, make some more money. The 1989 truck that he got out of impound is his. He paid for it. You would have lost it anyway. These were people that were very nice to you. No good deed goes unpunished. Do you understand?
Oh, yes.
The friendship is over?
Yes, I guess. I tried. My only was trying not to lose it.
Well, that's unfortunate. Anyway, your lawsuit's dismissed, Miss Robinson. That's all. Step out.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I bent over backwards, I think, every way I could, you know.
That's all I had left when I got out, and they knew that.
I even offered to just give back, knowing I probably never received the money.
It's more upsetting that I've lost 2 good friends.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Freeling versus Reed. Step forward, please.
19-year-old cashier Erin Freeling is suing her ex-boyfriend, 23-year-old landscaper Philip Reed, for disposing of all her belongings and for damaging their apartment. Philip is countersuing, claiming Erin stole his cat.
Miss Freeling, you and Mr. Reed used to live together as boyfriend and girlfriend. You lived in an apartment, is that right?
That's correct.
At some point you had an argument, you left, and you claimed that Mr. Reed disposed of some of your property. And in addition, he damaged the apartment so that you didn't get whatever security deposit back you were supposed to. Mr. Reed says that he didn't cause any more than normal wear and tear in the apartment, and he was forced to dispose of your property because he would abandon the property there, and he had to get the property out because the lease was over. Is that right, sir?
Yes, correct.
Okay. When did you move in together, Miss Freeling?
We had moved in together September of '03.
When did you leave?
July of '04.
Why did you leave?
He got too controlling, started being violent, so I decided to leave. And I had returned a week later to get some personal belongings and my cat. When I returned to get my cat, he had started pushing me back into the apartment. And at that point, I had my mom call 911, and we had the police come over, and they had to take him aside so I could get my personal belongings out of the apartment and my cat. I couldn't get that much stuff that day.
Why not?
Because I had a small car, and I was afraid to return to the apartment because he got very violent when I did go, and I didn't feel that I should have to call the cops every time I want to come over to my apartment.
Erin Freeling says when she broke up with Philip Reed, he threw all her belongings in a dumpster. She also says he purposely damaged their shared apartment.
Go ahead.
When I come back in September of '04, he had left my clothes on the middle of the floor, wet with urine. But I have videotape of all the damages, or the stuff that he thrown in the dumpsters.
Approximately, we lived together for a year and a half. We had a loving, caring relationship. About 8 months in the relationship, Mrs. Freeling told me she had feelings for another female. And she left the premises. I didn't hear from her. I called her and I told her if she don't come get her belongings, I'm going to throw them out. She took my cat that my grandmother got for me last Christmas.
Don't interrupt him. Who took care of it?
I did, because she wasn't there most of the time.
Step up. What's your last name?
Reed, Audrey.
Miss Reed, you bought the cat last Christmas?
Yes, I gave it to him as a present.
Miss Freeling, where'd you get the cat from?
I got the cat for Christmas from Philip, and I took care of the cat. I have vet bills.
Can I see the vet bill, please?
This is even his health checkup. Here's his rabies tag. The cat stuff is mailed to my mom's house because she paid for it.
Who took the cat to the vet, Mr. Reed?
Mom did. Erin's mother did.
No, Erin and her mother.
Along with me.
Erin and her mother.
Correct.
Right, from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Thank you. You may sit down, Miss Reed. Now, what stuff do you claim he disposed of that belongs to you?
When I had returned to the apartment, I found everything gone. This is a list of just the main stuff that I found that was gone.
Why didn't you come before? I don't buy the story that you didn't go before because you were afraid of him because he was violent. You could have gone with the police again. You went with them once. You could have gone with them again and gotten your stuff. Why didn't you go back?
Because I didn't have a vehicle that I could move the dresser.
That's baloney.
Because I didn't feel that I should have to get the law involved to get belongings back.
Well, then that's tough. I'm not dealing with something like a sugar dispenser, $3. Salt and pepper shakers, $5. Small cat bowls, $3. The only thing I have to make a decision today about really is the cat and whose cat it is. And Mr. Reed, get over the cat. She took the cat with her. She left a lot of other property behind, but she made sure she took the cat. Where's the cat now?
He's at my house.
All right. And the rest of the stuff that was disposed of, you deal with it. Now, you say that he damaged some property.
We had gotten into an argument. I locked myself in the bathroom. He had damaged the door. When I went back to the apartment, I found tomatoes on the wall.
Do you have a bill from the landlord charging you for cleaning up?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it. Who paid the security deposit?
I paid the security deposit.
That was billed to both of us.
Now I'll see the video.
This is what we found dumpster diving. Here's where he threw most of his stuff. Notice, huh? Pretty good, huh?
There's tomato stains on the carpet.
On the carpet. This is the doorknob that he broke trying to get into the bathroom when I locked myself in the bathroom.
She says she locked herself in the bathroom when you knocked the door. Is that true?
No, I'm not a violent person.
Your Honor,
in any event, that was in January, and you lived with him until July. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And another thing is, she came a week before the lease was even up. Like a week. How come she couldn't confront me and say, hey, I'll pay half of it? Like
I
a couple...
I have no idea. Listen, I'm not
Okay.
Dear Abby.
All right.
I mean, the whole thing is very irritating.
Yeah.
You know, two children playing house, and then things go wrong, and then you annoy the courts by asking them to get involved in who belongs to two placemats and a salt and pepper shaker. If you can't play house like adults, don't play house. Half of $490 is $245, which is left due and owing by each of you to the landlord. The apartment wasn't left in such bad condition. I'm speaking. The apartment wasn't left in such bad condition. The cat belongs to you. Get a judgment for $245. That's all.
You may step out.
He was controlling. He would get violent.
She had feelings for another female, she told me.
I haven't fell in love with another woman.
Now, this is case number 535 on the calendar in the matter of Hawkins versus Barker. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat, please.
Do you see that water jug?
Yep.
You have one of those?
Yeah.
Did you ever?
Yeah.
Did you ever put coins in it?
Yep.
Must be a guy thing. My husband's been collecting that stuff. You collect that stuff. You collect that stuff. Do you collect coins in that? I don't know any women who collect coins in that thing.
Neither do I.
You know? They put bills in a bank. They put bills in a bank. Okay. Mr. Hawkins, this is the theory of your case. Mrs. Barker is your landlord.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had some trouble with a window in your house, in your apartment. You called her, and she said, well, my son will come over and take care of it.
Yes.
In order for him to do that at some point, you had to leave the alarm off, which you did do.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you came home, this jar that had been, a jar similar to this one, that had been filled with coins that you were collecting over the years, that had thousands of dollars in it, was gone.
Yes, ma'am.
And you believe that Mrs. Barker and or her son is responsible for your missing property.
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been living in your current apartment, sir?
10 years.
You live alone?
Yes, at one point, yes. I mean, yes, I do.
Have you always lived alone?
No, ma'am.
Who else did you live with?
My son stayed with me for a couple years.
Until when?
Until sometime early August.
And what happened at that time?
Well, he wasn't following directions, and he had reached 18. And
So you kicked him out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Since August, has he been back to the house?
No, ma'am.
When did this incident happen with your money jar?
August 26th, ma'am, of 2004.
And what date in August did your son leave?
It was sometime around the beginning, like maybe about the 5th or the 6th, somewhere in there.
When he left on the 5th of August, did you change the locks?
No, ma'am.
You found a broken window. On what date?
August 20th.
Is that the date you notified Miss Barker?
Yes, ma'am.
What date were you told by Mrs. Barker's son that he would fix it?
He came over on August 20th. He said that he was leaving town and he wouldn't be back until Sunday, so he couldn't do anything about it.
Okay. So what did you do?
Well, I said, okay. I was actually leaving town also.
Now, you came back when?
I came back on the 22nd, that Sunday.
Your money jar was still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you keep it?
I kept it in a corner. It's like a corner in my living room.
When did you find it was missing?
On August 26th, when I arrived home from work.
When did Mr. Williams fix your window?
He fixed it on August 26th.
Stand up next to your mother, please. Is that correct, Mr. Williams?
Yes, that is correct.
When you got to his house on August 26th, you had told him to leave the alarm off because you had to get in to fix the window.
That's correct, yes.
And you went in on the 26th. Approximately what time?
I'd say late morning, between, I'd say 10 and 12. My recollection is a little blurry at the moment.
Tell me what happened when you went in to the apartment.
The night before, I went by the unit, because I live in the same complex, 3 doors down, at which time I took duct tape and I duct taped it from the outside only because I didn't have clearance to get into the unit. So I pulled the screen off and I put duct tape on it and secured it until the next morning because I didn't want to pull it out then and leave it overnight, and that would be very unsafe. So the next morning when I came back, late morning, on the 26th, I observed the tape off the window and the bottom portion of the glass was laying on the deck in front of the window with the tape gone and the screen back on the window. And so when I approached the door to open it, I was puzzled initially, and so I opened the door and I recollect that the deadbolt was not locked, just the bottom lock, and I entered the unit and I was in there for 8 to 10 minutes, took the window out, took it to the glass shop. They told me it'd be about 2 to 3 hours it would take and come back later. And before I left, I secured the window back up by drawing the blinds, putting the screen back on, and exiting the unit and leaving it the way as if when I entered it, with just the bottom lock locked.
Okay. You don't know anything about his money jar?
Never saw, like I said, I was in there for 8 minutes. As long as it took me to walk in the door, assess it, pull the window out, put the screen back in, lock the place up, and take it to the shop.
Do you have any criminal record, Mr. Williams?
No, I don't.
That was a tenuous no, I don't.
Well, I do actually. But I believe that's irrelevant.
I had assumed that you didn't.
Right.
I had assumed that you didn't, but now that you tell me that you did, do you have a conviction for anything?
I don't recall what my conviction was. It was years ago, but I don't think that's irrelevant. 6, 7 years ago.
How old are you now?
33.
Since then, nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Well, that's an honest answer.
Right.
Good. Now, Mr. Hawkins, you're going to have to explain to me what proof you have that Mr. Williams and or his mother, who was the manager of the property, should be responsible for the loss of your money jar.
Like I said, he told me to turn off the alarm. The other thing is...
well, he had to turn off the alarm or give him the code.
Yes.
Because otherwise he couldn't get into your unit.
Exactly.
You could have stayed home from work.
Yes.
And said, I'm not turning off the alarm, I'm going to stay home from work, and I'll let you in.
Well, on Monday and Tuesday, when I was home, because he actually told me on Monday that he was coming to fix the window, and I didn't hear anything from him. So I went to work, and he called me on my cell phone at work on Wednesday.
So you spoke to him?
Yes.
You could have said, I'm not going to be home. Wait until next Monday. I'll take the day off, and you can come and fix the window. You didn't have to turn the alarm off.
No, you're right.
Who was this?
This is my witness, Jim. We had to move the sparkless bottle because he cleans carpets, and just saying that it had to take a big person to actually move that.
I believe it had to take a big person. So he's your friend?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have other friends in the building?
No, ma'am. He doesn't live in my building.
Do you have any friends in the building after 10 years?
No.
None. You have no friends at all?
Yes, I have friends. Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The most remote thing in my mind would be that I would ask one of my children if they came in and took my property. That wouldn't even enter my mind, sir.
And later today...
Started with my wife's car. Her car caught on fire, which then involved the house.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brian Hawkins says his landlord, Debbie Barker, owes for a water jug full of money that was stolen from his apartment. Debbie says Brian should talk to his son.
Now let's get to your son. Your son left at around the same time. Did you ask your son about your money jar?
Yes, I did.
Why would you ask your son about your money jar?
Because I don't have any enemies or anything. So I went to his mom's house where he was staying.
When did you go to his mom's house?
I went on Saturday. Well, I called him on Friday, on the day that it happened.
And he said?
He said no, and he wouldn't do anything like that.
But you thought he might?
I just felt that, there was tension between me and my son when he left. But
and you knew that he knew it was there?
Yes.
And it's possible that it was your son?
It's possible.
It's possible it was Mr. Williams?
Yeah, it's possible.
But Mr. Williams would really have to be pretty stupid to steal your money, knowing that he lives in the complex and knowing that you know that he was going to be in your apartment that day.
Yes, ma'am.
So he'd have to be a fool. He doesn't strike me as being a fool. Mr. Hawkins.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to suggest to you that you got to keep your money in a bank. And if you have $3,000 worth of coins, keeping them in your apartment is not a very smart thing to do. Now, I assume you reported this matter to the police.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you reported the matter to the police, you indicated that the perpetrator of this crime was unknown to you.
Yes.
It's unknown to me as well. So what you're suggesting is that I hold the defendants responsible because they were in some way negligent.
Yes.
But I don't find that they were negligent, sir. I think that you had certain options, and one of your options was that you could have said, I will be home. We will fix a time when you can come in and fix the window, but I'm not turning the alarm off for several hours because you're not going to be here for a period of time when the alarm is off. You've got to take the window to have it fixed.
But isn't it as a manager or you take some responsibility because when you enter someone's apartment you're liable for any wrongdoing?
He's not liable for someone else's wrongdoing,
Yeah.
sir. He's not Mr. Hawkins. Mr. Williams nor his mother are responsible if your son stole your money jar.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Right.
But
And we don't know whether that's true or not, whether it was your son, maybe it was your son and some of his friends, maybe it was some of your son's friends. You don't know that.
Can I say an interesting fact? When he returned home later that evening, he was upset and he asked me how come I didn't deadbolt the lock. And it was really puzzling to me because I told him the policy usually with a manager is usually when you enter a unit, you leave it the same way when you exit. So when I entered the unit, that deadbolt was not locked. And he said, oh, I always deadbolt it. I always deadbolt it. And I said, Brian, the deadbolt was not locked. And that's the reason why I didn't deadbolt it when I exited after completion of the job. Then he furthermore asked me if I played his Nintendo game. And he said, yeah, the Nintendo game was out, the remotes were out, it was left on, there was a game in it.
Is that right, sir?
No, it was actually pulled out of the, I have an entertainment stand, and it was actually pulled out with some other items.
So you mean the person who came in that stole your money jar also played your Nintendo?
Well, they were intending to take it.
Either they were intending to take it or they were playing with it. Was there a game in it?
No, there wasn't no game in it.
He told me there was a game in it that wasn't in it prior. And I remember specifically him saying that the remotes were out and the power on the unit was on. And
Is that
he
right,
left
sir?
it off.
The power was on because they pulled it out. They pulled it out. That and some other things were packed up right in front of the Nintendo.
You mean some other things that somebody was trying to burglarize?
Well, it was my PlayStation, some games, and some DVDs.
Mr. Williams certainly had more than enough time if he wanted to take that property in order to do it, right?
I guess that they forgot it.
No. No. I would look elsewhere, Mr. Hawkins. I don't think these people are responsible for your loss at all.
May I make a comment? When Brian initially made the phone call to me to let me know that the window was broken, I questioned how it got broken.
No, ma'am.
And he informed me he thought it was his son trying to break in.
No, ma'am. No,
that
I
his
didn't.
son had tried several times in the past.
No, ma'am.
And I said, well, gee, Brian, if you or your son broke the window, I'm not responsible to repair it. That's something that you need to repair. And then he changed his whole story that he wasn't sure if it was his son or not.
No, ma'am. That's not true.
Well,
That's
some of
not
your
true.
conduct, Mr. Hawkins, afterwards suggests that she may be telling the truth because certainly if my house was burglarized, I would not call one of my children to find out if they were the perpetrators.
No,
Listen to me very carefully. If my house was missing items and it was clear that my house was the subject of a burglary, the most remote thing in my mind would be that I would ask one of my children if they came in and took my property. That wouldn't even enter my mind, sir, but it entered your mind.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brian Hawkins says his landlord, Debbie Barker, owes for a water jug full of money that was stolen from his apartment. Debbie says Brian should talk to his son.
Now, you not only called your son, according to you, you went to his mother's house
Yes, ma'am.
to look for the property? I wouldn't think, would not dawn on me that that's the place that I would
Well,
look.
that was-
So you thought about it. So what Miss Barker says when she says to me that you thought your son may have tried to get into the house is supported by what you did after you found your house burglarized.
No, ma'am.
Well, it is, sir.
That wasn't how
That's what I find, sir. They are not responsible. Look elsewhere. Your case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your
Parties are
Thank you, Your
excused. You may step out.
I was taken aback because, prior to this, there was a friendship, kind of, neighborly friendship.
I really don't have our friend. She's been a nice owner.
And I was taken aback by it.
Her son, I hope that they didn't take it personal.
Brian's been there. I've owned the building for 8 years, and he's been a great tenant. And he had some problems with his son. Sometimes we all have problems with our children.
I just hope that things can remain the way that they were because they have been good people to me.
Judge Judy is the best. She's very fair.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Clark versus Beaver. Step forward, please.
Registered nurse Lori Clark is suing the father of her son's bandmate, communications consultant David Beaver, for the cost of musical equipment. Lori says her son's equipment was damaged in a fire at David's home.
Mrs. Clark, your son and the defendant's son are in a band together. Your son had some music equipment that he had brought over to Mr. Beaver's home. Mr. Beaver's home was destroyed by fire. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I don't think it was an intentional fire.
No.
It was an accident. And according to you, your son's music equipment was destroyed. And you want Mr. Beaver to pay for that. Step up, sir. Tell me your name.
Zachary Clark.
Zachary, when did you bring this music equipment to the Beaver home?
Right when we started.
Give me a month.
November, maybe, I don't know.
Okay, let's say November. And who did you speak to before you brought it over there?
Ben.
Who's that?
His son.
How old are you?
20.
Is Ben the person that you're in the band with?
Yeah.
And tell me about the conversation that you had with Ben. Step up, Ben. Tell me about the conversation.
He answered a thing I put up at a Guitar Center for looking for a drummer, and we just talked, and I brought my stuff over. We're just interested in playing music together.
Where was your music equipment stored?
In Ben's room, which is like the basement, the whole lower level.
When for the first time did you meet Mr. Beaver?
The first day I went over there, I think, yeah.
Did you ever have a conversation with him about your music equipment? Before the fire?
Before it?
Before it?
No.
What makes you think, Miss Clark, that an accidental fire renders Mr. Beaver liable for this music equipment?
I claimed it on my insurance company, and they denied the request to cover the equipment.
So? What makes you think that he's responsible?
Because that's where the equipment was at the time of the fire, was in the basement of his home.
So?
The equipment is damaged. There's smoke damage, extensive smoke damage.
So?
And I was under the impression that he could claim the damage on his insurance company.
Well, maybe he could, but what makes you think that if he didn't, that he would be liable for the damaged equipment? It was not stored there with his permission. He certainly did not assume any liability to act in any more than a reasonable and prudent manner with regard to it, not to do anything to actively damage it or to prevent it from being damaged from some other force, not leaving it under an open window to let it be hit by the elements. Just reasonable precaution. But this is a fire. This is an accident. Why would he be liable for this equipment?
I guess I thought because the equipment was on his property that both of us would claim the equipment to our insurance.
Well, let's say your car is parked in a parking lot, outside parking lot, and from overhead, a plane emanates some stuff, piece of metal, falls down. You don't know where the plane is, you don't know who the owner of the plane is, what company it is, but the thing comes down and destroys your car. Who's responsible? The owner of the parking lot?
Possibly. Myself or...
Not the owner of the parking lot, just because the car happens to be sitting in a parking lot. Mr. Beaver is responsible for certain things. If he knew that the equipment was there, if he knew that the equipment was there under these circumstances, then he's responsible to exercise ordinary, prudent care to see that nothing happens to it. How did this fire start, Mr. Beaver?
It started with my wife's car. We have a tuck-under garage. Her car caught on fire, which then involved the house from there. So about a third of the house was damaged by the fire, and the rest was all smoke damage.
Did you question your insurance company with regard to this young man's equipment?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And?
The fact that we did not own the equipment, we technically could not claim it on our coverage, and we did not.
So he could not claim it on his insurance, so you want him to pay for the damaged equipment out of his own pocket. I don't think he's liable. It's unfortunate, but I don't think he's liable. Is the equipment usable?
It works, but they told us not to use it from the Savage Audio. Mr. Beaver brought it in and had it checked out, and it says that smoke damage exceeds the value.
Well, are you working after school?
Do I work? No.
Maybe you better get a job so you can buy some new equipment. Right?
Yep.
Good idea. Case dismissed.
How you excuse you may...